Hello and welcome back to Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video, and we start here in the forest just north of Croydon at one of the stations that we built in the last video. Now, I just realised just before I recorded this that I have forgotten to get rid of the mod that was causing bugs with the freight station and indeed the standard passenger station. I think it's the larger stations mod or something along those lines. It really no longer matters, but what it does mean is that I'm not going to be able to build a freight station like normal, just like the last video, and I'm going to have to do it a little bit of the iffy way, as it were. Not that that really matters. So last time out we built this station and a route that went all the way over towards was it towards Croydon now? I have no idea. Anyway, it went upwards and you can see the route. You can see the viaduct in the distance going up, and if you look closely, right towards the top of the screen, right near the horizon line on the right hand side, you might just be able to see the factory where we have the log cutters factory, I suppose. What would they call it? Woodcutters? No, this is the woodcutters in the forest. So what would that be? Planks factory? Let's just call it a planks factory. I'm sure there's woodworks maybe. I don't know. Anyway, in this video what we are going to be doing is looking at perhaps improving this, because I'm not entirely sure on this design, but also looking at getting the goods part of this hooked up in Downer Market. So we're going to create a custom goods area, and that should be pretty good. It should only take about half an hour, so make sure you stay tuned and let's see what exactly I can come up with and whether or not it works. Now, before we continue, I have started noticing some problems and I'm unsure as to what is going on here, because there is something that has happened on this particular train line and I am not sure what it is. So, as you can see, there's sort of like a double line thing here for some reason, and I really need to figure this out. And it seems to be everywhere. What is going on? Is it that? No. That was the loop around there. But no, that isn't it. Right, I really need to pause this and figure this one out. So, are you on the wrong side? That's one of the questions. If I look into this tunnel. No, you are on the right side, so everything is okay here. Where does it go wrong? Oh no, wait, no, there it is. Right here. Something between Carnforth and here? Okay, so Carnforth goes up to Bracknell. Bracknell back to Carnforth is fine. It's this one. Let's do that. Now what? Train 1 reports problems. Which one are you? You're fine. There you go. Will that fix it? Something very wonky just happened there. Oh look, all the passengers using. Well, at least we know they use the stairs. That is a good sign. Right. Let's go ahead and continue what we were doing now. So where were we? Across the river, right? Yes. So it wasn't. The forest was just north of Batsley. So first off, I'm not really happy with this design. I feel like I've made a really big mess of it, but we'll have to see exactly what happens. But what I do want to do is I do want to ensure that I have the goods factory ready, which is what I'm going to be building here. So first off, I would like to start everything off with, well, I suppose, should I start it off with the factory itself? So, well, that isn't the kind of factory I'd like. Let's go for a standard goods factory and then work from there when it comes to size. So, oops, that's not it. That's one. So I mean, looking at that, it isn't that large, and you could very easily fit trains along the back of it. So I think that logically having a goods factory around, perhaps around there, would really work. Now I know that this isn't exactly going to stay the way it is. In fact, just looking at this, what if I had the... No, that makes sense, having the railway slightly out. So if I did something like that, obviously this takes plastic and steel. We're going to use a goods factory that uses wood, but I'm going to be using this as sort of a template in a moment. The first thing I'd like to do is, in fact, I guess I could just get rid of that. I can put, if I just put this in here as something I can use for a template, and then I'll come back to it. The first thing I really need to do is flatten this area. So that is going to be quite important. There we go. I'll smooth this out afterwards, but we do need to flatten it, and then I need to see exactly where... Yeah, see? So that is important because of how I need the railway coming in. So when it comes along here, at this point it needs to be slightly lower down in order to fit in this area. And there is a slight lip, in fact, which I'm not particularly keen with. So what I should do is I should lower it first in this area, and that should give us the better lowering now. There we go. That is more like it. Okay. So as I said, I'm just going to spend roughly half an hour or so fixing this up. I think that is going to work rather well. The little drop-offs here will not cause any issues, and of course I will clear this up. In fact, let me just clear it up right now. Smooth that bit out like so, and just smooth out around the edges. Right, first things first, some roads going in. So just to give you a reminder as to the design style, something like how I've got these bricks working. So same sort of idea. And yes, I know that this is not going to be working all too well for us at this point in time. I will probably move all of those over to here and try and figure out if I can get something going on this side. So first off, I think we need some roads. I think that is always quite important. Let's go ahead and put some roads like so. And it doesn't matter if the roads are a little bit curved like that. Thank you, Autosave, for getting in my way. And then I'm looking at the goods factory being built right here. So we also would... I like having truck stations and everything within the factory land. So I'd like to start off by working out what buildings can go in and how I'm going to fit them in. So for example, I could do this and have that, no, old city. What do we have here? Old city, sure. And I can look at doing something along these lines. So we'll have a truck station like so. And then, is that truck? That is freight. Cargo plat. Yeah, let's go with that. Street type. Country old. No, I could do with having a different type of street type there, but that's fine. How many platforms do we want? We can have some extra wide platforms and only 2 of them. Would that... How many cities is this? How many towns is this realistically going to be working with? Probably this one is probably going to be just down a market, to be perfectly honest. I doubt it will be going anywhere else. Although perhaps we can have it going to Berwick. So I will put 2, and I will put them to be extra wide, given that there may be a lot going into this. Platform capacity 80. No, let's just do it as wide. Each platform can be 80, although if I did each platform to be 112, what about maximum 128? We could, with each platform being 128, technically fit that in like that, which would be interesting. I think that would be quite an interesting thing. So let's go ahead and do that. And honestly, that does work really nicely. Now, obviously here we've got an open area, but I will sort that out very, very shortly. So that is a good start. The next thing I probably want to do is add in a few more streets, quite old. Perhaps one that runs roughly parallel with this, I suppose, connects up onto here. And you could think of these as the inside streets, and of course we do need the railway also coming in, which is going to... So you could think of this as where the railway will park itself in. Or should I have the railway coming on this side? Suppose I could have the railway coming on this side. And the other thing that I then have to worry about is how long a railway can I fit in here. So let's actually focus on that railway for a moment. It isn't going to be a long railway I can fit in. Although, if I brought this right the way up to that, so on this side, yeah, we could... Let's start with a 160 meter railway. No, it's going to have to be bigger than that. 240, which means that it is going to cut across this bit, which is not something I'm keen on. Unless we put a bridge here. Right, okay. Couple of ideas that I have. First off, this should probably be straight. This area here should probably just be a rough straight line. But if I now put not one of them, if I put one of these in, and obviously this is a freight station, so I am going to be changing it out. I'm just using this to line it up as per the problems I've been having. So if I do, let's bring it up like so. Let's do that. Let's then, can I... Oh, I could do the whole zero height bridge thing. How do I do that? There it is. And then literally just do build anyway and see what happens. Okay, I'll do that after. Let's sort this freight station out first. So we've got that. Let's go ahead and configure. Right, it needs to be a station platform. Is it not going to fit there? Okay. Idea. It needs to be something like that. Okay. In which case, In which case, this entire... Oh, we do have a bit of an issue. If I do that, that's going to give us the problem, right? But I could do the British station. That will help us. Platform length 240. And give me a really large building size, so I've got the idea here. There we go. Right. And now, if I just configure that and delete that bit and put in one of those, there we go. Now we're looking more like what we're after. So that is now part of the cargo station. I will then add more to this. There's obviously lots more that needs to be done. So first off, this is going to be a pretty important station, really. I think the way we are going to do this is, I think we should put the tracks in. Let's put 30 mile per hour tracks. I'm actually going to really push them up to the end like that. And you know, I will take advantage of the 240 meters, and then I'm going to subsequently look for... So if I take all of this down, I will then subsequently look for the platforms, that I need to do and I need to put on. So that should not be too difficult. So a single track there, some cargo platforms. Where were those cargo platforms that Mad Hatter had? They're these. I mean, that's a fairly good idea to have one of them. And then, so let me plan up the tracks first, and then I'll work on it. That was not the track I wanted. As I said, 30 mile per hour bullhead track. So that's one. Now we could have a train. Could have trains waiting, or I think we should have trains like this, have another platform and then another one. So again, platforms is not the one, but whatever. I guess I could put that in because it will be the same width. Right? This is not the same width. That's important. There are the platforms. That's the ones I was after, not concrete, wooden. I just think these platforms look much nicer, and look, they automatically build the weird end bits. I say weird end bits. I think you know what I'm talking about, right? So that's 2. Let's have another one. So that gives us 4 lines, and I think that probably looks pretty reasonable overall. If I now go back to the tracks and go for the 30 mile per hour tracks once again, build it along here, and I think we're pretty good on this. For some reason, some of the sounds have just disappeared. Sorry, I don't want to know. So we could start with 4. I think that's a good start, and realistically, I could probably put a fairly... I think I could... What on earth? Oh, right, yes, zero height bridge. Oops. Okay, that looks really cool. I'll be honest, that looks really cool, but it is not something we can use. That honestly looks awesome. Let's go ahead and, I think, probably converts all of this. It's a slow area, slow moving area. There we go. And we could probably even do one of these. Hey, look. I mean, I don't know what we could do with it. Oh dear. If I crash this out. It's having a bit of a panic, to be honest. Try that. What do you do? It just looks terrible. It really does. See, if that was something we could pull off, that would be awesome, because that would give us some validity to what we're doing here. But it seems like that is not something we can do. Right. I'll just connect you up. I think that's feasible too. That looks feasible. Okay, now comes the difficult part of the buildings. So again, I think this bit over here and here. So we're not going to have car parks or anything. This is not real cars, although this area could be a nice open area. And then we will build up the freestyle industry. So I would like to put the freestyle industry right here to start with, because I think this is going to really help us. Now, it is going to be an input and output, so I need to do, that's it. Input cargo is going to be planks. Output cargo is going to be goods. And let's just work on the length of the stockpile. That looks pretty good. The width of it, we can make it fairly long, I would say. There we go. So it looks pretty awesome, like so. So that is where that's where our goods work. Other things we could do here is we could do. Oops! I keep pressing the tilde key for. Oh, you've gone right over. Why have you gone right over? That is not what I wanted. There we go. Much better. Right. Next up, we need to probably put some buildings in. So this is where it gets a little bit harder. Oh, by the way, I figured out how to use those markers. They're over here. We'll probably have a look at them. But this is where it is going to get a little bit harder. So if I just select all and just go for goods. No, not particularly. That doesn't really work. Industrial. There we go. Okay. So we've got this sort of industrial building, which kind of, I'm not sure if that is really the right sort that I want. I suppose a goods factory would have something like this, because, and the reason I say that is because I could, in theory, do that to it, and it would logically make sense to do that. Although then I probably want to. So what would happen if I did that? I mean, as part of a goods factory, it probably does not look terrible. I'm thinking about large factories that have been built over time, and I'm just trying to think about what would not be there. These things would not be there. Sort of, this sort of stuff could be. Goods. Yep, see, this sort of stuff. There we go. This sort of stuff could be around, although again more like brickworks here or something. But if I just go ahead and do, I don't know, just do this on this side, and then let's make up, just like the brickworks, let's make up a factory sort of shape. So I'd like to do that, and then not you. Could I use, I mean, that possibly. We'll do that, and then maybe a slightly smaller bit attached in here. There we go. That kind of looks like what could pass as a goods factory. Now what we need to do is we need to put a bunch of gravel or something around here. So I think I'm doing fairly well on time. Do we not have gravel? Yes, we do. Gravel. I was going to say we must have gravel, right? So that's the wrong colour gravel. That's not the gravel I want. That could work. That could work. No, you know what? That gravel. Just along all of this. It's lots and lots of gravel. We'll add some grass in a little while, but just plenty of gravel in this area to start with. There we go. That's looking good. And then out here we probably need some things, because obviously that is how it accesses the railways. So we need to work on a few things out here. Over here I definitely want some nice grass. Sure, you know, they look after their grass in this area. Why not? We'll do that. Some nice grass for people to be out there. And then let's look for some benches. Selection of benches. Let's see what kind of benches we have. Basic stone benches. That's the wrong type. Actually, that is not the wrong type. It's just not the ideal type. I don't know what those benches are. Yes, here we go. So some wooden benches. You can have your. Oh, I don't know. You could sit and have some. Maybe there's a little pond here or something along those lines. I guess I'll have to work on that particular bit. And then out here I suppose we could end up having some additional buildings and an entrance, I guess. So we could I'll work on the outside in a little bit. I'm just trying to think about what else would go. Oh well, we did have goods, so look, we could probably have a pallet of goods. Coffee? No. Fish? No. Planks. Planks is very useful, right? We can have because planks are obviously going to come in on one of these, so we could have a whole bunch of planks just sitting out here. And these are some of the delivered planks. We can have a few different types. We can have some pallets out here. So I'll just do that. There we go. Have some pallets out here. Nothing too major, and again, it's not going to be perfectly placed. There we go. Gives it just that little bit more detail, and then stone is probably not one we want. Tools, no. Logs probably do not get delivered here. What else would be goods? Just basic goods. Here we go. And perhaps near this area, right here, we could place some goods. There we go. And I suppose we could also. No. Well, what? Why can I not? Oh, there is a way to do this, right? Somebody told me that there is a way to lift assets. That's it. And I guess if we do 0.3, is that really? No, it needs to be 0. There we go, and then I can do that. Just giving it a bit more life, as it were, as though, you know, it really does have more to give. I keep pressing the tilde. Okay, so that is starting to sort of take shape. Other things that this probably needs, I would say that perhaps we just I think, should I gate this all up? That is a possibility. Put a wall along this side, and then we need something here. Having a look at what this has, again we've got some goods, some barrels. I suppose that is quite reasonable. So yeah, maybe, of course we do need some rubbish areas, so not fuel, that's for sure. Food is probably not a thing we need. Grain, no. Certainly no livestock. Iron, no. Let's have a look. Anything else? Not really. Hey, look, we've got these. I mean, this could be interesting. Use this to load up goods, perhaps, as a station platform sort of thing. Maybe. Let me know what you think about this. I'm gonna put a few of these in, and you guys let me know what your thoughts are on this, because that's actually in a way is starting to take shape. Actually, that's really taking shape nicely. All I've got to do is just really figure out how to do the borders. But that is essentially a goods factory. It should have enough production power, I'm hoping. And if it doesn't, of course, we've got this area back here where we could add additional production. What I do need to do, as I said, apart from the fencing, actually that's not looking terrible. I do need to think on this a little bit more, but at this point in time, I think I'm going to say that is good enough to what's that good enough to do? That's good enough to put into production. And it isn't perfect, but it is, as I said, good enough, I believe, to put into production. It's taking shape. It's starting to look more like a factory. It still doesn't have, I think, the colours of the building is not quite what I want. I would much rather have, because at the moment there are 3 different colours, and I'd much rather fix that, but I will work that out off camera, otherwise it will take me forever. So with that, I'm going to end this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Leave a comment in the comments box below, letting me know what you think. Any ideas and suggestions you may have. Would one of these perhaps have a depot near it? In which case, I know what this area next to the road could be. I could turn that into a depot. That might be interesting. In the next video, I'm going to be hooking all of this up and seeing if it works. Hopefully it does. So make sure you stay tuned for all that. And if you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really, really help me out. And also, you can find me on social media at ECGadgetLP for both Twitter and Instagram. That is all from me. And I'll see you next time in Transport Fever 2, the UK modded series.